We knew this day was coming. After another early disappointing season from the Suns, it was only a matter of time before Kevin Durant found his way out. For weeks, the rumors had been swirling. Houston, San Antonio, Miami. 3 destinations kept coming up. And now, it's official. Kevin Durant is headed to Houston. It's a move that might not surprise anyone, but it does change everything. Because while the league expected KD to leave Phoenix, few truly understood just how perfectly he fits with this young Rockets core. A franchise on the rise just added one of the most efficient, consistent, and battle-tested scorers in NBA history. This isn't a gamble, it's not a last-ditch effort. This is a calculated decision for both KD and the Rockets to go all in. And now, Houston's timeline has accelerated. Fast. So let's dive into how we got here, how KD ended up in Houston, and what this blockbuster means for the Suns, the Rockets, his legacy, and the NBA landscape heading into next season. Hours before a Game 7 in the NBA Finals, we got word Kevin Durant was being traded. And the deal? It was a blockbuster. The Suns shipped off KD for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick in the draft this year, and 5 future second-rounders. It's a big swing for both sides. Houston gives up a key piece of its backcourt in Jalen Green, along with draft capital, to bring in a win-now superstar. Phoenix, on the other hand, cashes out before KD's value declines and retools around Booker and Beal with young talent and assets. On paper, it's bold but not surprising. Durant wanted out. The Rockets had the pieces. The Suns were ready to move on. And now, the Western Conference just got way more interesting. Let's start with Phoenix. 2 years ago at the 2023 trade deadline, they went all in. They mortgaged their depth, their future, and arguably their identity, shipping Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a treasure chest of picks for Kevin Durant. And in the short term, it looked genius. KD came in firing, they had a big 3 with Booker and eventually Beal. It was all about now, championship or bust. But then they lost to the Nuggets in the second round in 2023, got swept in the first round by the Wolves in 2024, and failed to even make the play-in in 2025. You can blame injuries, inconsistencies, chemistry issues, you name it. But the ultimate issue was that they went all in on star power and ignored everything else. And worst of all, they were expensive. One of the priciest rosters in NBA history, without a single trip to even the conference finals to show for it. So when 2025 ended without even a playoff appearance and KD reportedly voiced concerns about the direction of the team, Phoenix finally made the call. They chose to reset, not rebuild, but retool. They now have a younger core around Booker and Beal, and they've replenished some of the picks they lost in 2023. And even if they were to go from retooling to rebuilding by trading Booker as well, I wouldn't necessarily blame them either. Is it painful as a Suns fan? Yes. Because let's be honest, when the Ishbia brothers took over as owners, they came in swinging. They fired Monty Williams, traded for KD, traded for Beal, replaced Chris Paul. They went for it. Hard. Aggressive, flashy, bold, but also rushed and reckless. There was no patience, no foundation, just big swings and bigger expectations. And when it didn't work, when the team collapsed under the weight of its own hype, there was no backup plan. Just a bloated payroll, a gutted bench, and no path forward. The Ishbia brothers wanted to make a splash, and they did, but in trying to skip the line to a championship, they may have set the franchise back years. And if we look at the Suns right now, they're just about stuck in the middle when they retain Booker, and in today's NBA, the worst place to be stuck in is the middle. But now let's talk about the Rockets, because they just changed their entire trajectory overnight. If you haven't been paying attention, Houston has been quietly building something special. They've drafted well, they've got cap flexibility, and under Ime Udoka, they play with a real identity. Physical defense, fast pace, and unselfish offense. Alperen Şengün made the all-star level leap. Amen Thompson looks like a future all-star. Jabari Smith Jr. has turned into a legit two-way threat. And they've got Fred VanVleet to steady the ship. The only thing missing, a go-to bucket getter in crunch time, a superstar scorer, a leader who's been there before. Enter Kevin Durant. This is the ultimate win-now move. But it's not reckless. KD is joining a team with one of the deepest young cores in the league, a smart coach, a stable front office, and no real expectations yet. And for a guy like KD, who's always operated best when he's surrounded by pieces that don't demand the ball, this might be his perfect final chapter. That brings us to the man himself. Why was Houston the best destination? Let's be real, this is a guy who had options. He could have pushed more for Miami. He could have really pushed to link up with Wemby in San Antonio. But Houston, they offered something different. A young, coachable roster, no ego battles, a team ready to contend now, but still flexible enough to adapt to KD's style. And most importantly, a front office willing to listen to what he wants. This wasn't just about basketball, it was about control, culture, and comfort. And maybe for the first time, it was about legacy building. Because in Houston, Durant isn't just joining a team, he's shaping one. He's not walking into a locker room full of made men, he's walking into a room of rising stars. Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr., all of them are talented, all of them are hungry, and all of them need a true veteran voice. KD can be that voice. He can pass down the habits, the work ethic, the shot discipline, the defensive reads that turn good players into great ones. He can be the difference between potential and production. And for Durant, a player who's often been misunderstood, this is a chance to lead, to mentor, and to leave something behind that lasts longer than highlights and hardware. This isn't just a fresh start, it's a legacy play. Plus, there's something poetic about KD closing out his career mentoring the next generation in a city that watched Hakeem Olajuwon do the same thing 3 decades ago. This isn't a retirement tour. Durant's not here to chill out and go on a farewell trip. He's here to win a championship on a team that was just the 2 seed in the West. And at this very moment, Houston looks like a legitimate favorite in the Western Conference. So what does this team look like now? It's scary. Fred VanVleet, who is still a steady veteran point guard, brings championship experience and floor leadership. Amen Thompson, who is a legitimate two-way athletic monster and future of Houston's backcourt. Of course, now Kevin Durant is still a top 10 player in the league, Jabari Smith Jr., who is a solid stretch 4 with elite defense, a perfect fit next to KD, and Alperen Sengun, an all-star Jokic-light big who can pass, shoot, and post up. And off the bench, Tari Eason, who's a young rising wing on a team option, Steven Adams, who they just re-signed, and they still have the 3rd overall pick in the draft last year in Reed Shepherd, who could break out next season. And don't forget about Cam Whitmore, who's a raw, high-flying, bucket-getting wing who has all the makings of a very solid player if he can stay healthy and consistent. This second unit isn't just serviceable, it's dangerous, and with Durant setting the tone, guys like Cam Whitmore and Shepherd could thrive in roles that maximize their strengths without rushing their development. If there's one X factor in all of this that can't be overlooked, it's Ime Udoka. Because yes, Kevin Durant chose Houston for the roster, the flexibility, and the opportunity, but he also chose it because of the coach. Udoka is the kind of leader Durant has thrived under before. Tough, defensive-minded, and demanding, but fair. He holds his stars accountable without micromanaging. And most importantly, he's got the respect of the locker room. We saw what Udoka did in Boston. He took a young, talented roster and turned them into a finals team by instilling structure, discipline, and an identity. Now he has a chance to do it again, with an even more athletic core and a certified Hall of Famer to anchor the mission. Udoka gives Durant something he hasn't always had, a coach who aligns with his intensity and his vision, a coach who can push the young guys while also empowering KD to lead in his own way. Together, they can build something special, not just a playoff team, but a sustainable culture that could dominate for years. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What does this move really mean for KD's legacy? Because you know what the critics are gonna say. He's ring chasing, he's bailed on another team, he'll never be the guy. But here's the truth, Durant is 36 years old. He's averaged over 25 points per game for nearly 15 straight seasons. He's won an MVP, he's won championships, he's hit daggers. He's made all NBA teams in 3 different decades. He's the greatest scorer of our generation. At this point, he doesn't owe anybody a thing. But this move to Houston, it's not about silencing the noise. It's about finally playing somewhere that lets him just be himself. No drama, no forced fit, no big three politics. If he wins a title with this Rockets team, a squad that hasn't made the finals since 1995, it might be the most impressive ring of his career. And if he doesn't, he still goes out on his own terms as one of the greatest players of our generation. But zooming out and looking at the entire landscape of the NBA, this is a league-shifting moment because the Western Conference was already a bloodbath. The Thunder, who right now could be NBA champions tomorrow at the time of me recording this video. You've got Denver, who's still elite with the best player in the world. The Lakers, who reloaded with Luka. The Warriors, who reloaded with Jimmy Butler. Ant-Man and the Timberwolves are still on the rise. And the Spurs, who might just throw 8 firsts and pair their generational superstar with the freaking Greek Freak. And now Houston has legitimately joined the party. The next 2 to 3 years, they're going to be insane. And if KD stays healthy, there's a real path for the Rockets to come out of the West and win a championship. KD has been in some shaky up and down situations since leaving Golden State, but him becoming a Houston Rocket looks like his most stable and best pathway to a championship that he's had in years. So let's recap. Kevin Durant is officially a Houston Rocket. The Suns have pivoted toward a younger, more flexible future, and the Rockets, they just became one of the most intriguing teams in the NBA. There are no guarantees in basketball, especially when it comes to health and chemistry. But one thing is clear, Kevin Durant isn't done. He's still chasing greatness, still chasing rings, still rewriting his story. And if this move pans out, don't be surprised if a year from now we're talking about Houston as the NBA's new powerhouse. Because when Kevin Durant makes a move, it's not random, it's calculated. And this one might be his smartest one yet. But let me know what you think. Is this the best move KD's made since Golden State? Can the Rockets actually win a title in the next 2 to 3 years? Drop your takes in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insane NBA content all off-season long. We'll keep you updated on everything, trades, rumors, and what this wild summer means for the future of the league. Until next time, peace.